I'm very, very delighted to give this talk for this really exciting conference, and thank you for inviting me and giving this honor to share some of my research and project developments with the community today. So my presentation will reflect on the experience of designing an experimental project on creation of the Art Metaverse Portal at the University of the Arts Singapore, LASALLE College of the Arts. So this portal is conceptualized as an interdisciplinary mixed reality space for experimentation with different forms, types, and genres of arts in a virtual reality. So since the project is still in progress and it's actually moves much slower than we expected it to, I will focus more today on such questions as why we believe a creation of such a space is important, how we see the space, and how we aim to make it a reality. So I will share these details with you by following a three-dimensional framework that we developed to imagine and to design this space, such as understanding the metaverse as an art space, as a marketplace, and as an educational playground. So before I start my presentation, let me give a little bit of a background about our institutional context. So the University of the Arts Singapore is Singapore's first and only arts university, nurturing a new generation of forward-looking artists, designers, educators, researchers, art leaders, and actually change makers. And it's founded on the alliance of Singapore pioneer and leading arts institutions such as LaSalle College of the Arts and Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts. So in the past decade, LaSalle established its reputation as the Asia leading contemporary arts and design institution. It provides a nurturing interdisciplinary learning environment and offers undergraduate and graduate degrees and programs in fine arts, in design communication, interior design, product design, film, animation, fashion, dance, music, theater, arts management, arts pedagogy, and practice. So the idea of creating a metaverse space for artists, students, and faculty at LaSalle emerged in the beginning of the last year from our experience of participating in the hackathon Dancing in the Metaverse. It was organized by the major performing arts venue in Singapore, Esplanade. And through this initiative, the theaters on the Bay invited artists, researchers, creative producers to take a part in 3 days long intensive lab to respond to key questions about digitalization in the performing arts, to propose actionable solutions on enhancing performing arts spaces and experiences through new metaverse technologies. So in collaboration with the head of School of Dance and Theater at LaSalle, I led the team of my arts management students and dance students to propose a project for creating a virtual public art festival space in Singapore. And even though during the hackathon, our proposal was not selected for funding through the National Arts Council, it gave a strong impetus to work on the project further and pitch it to our own institution, to LaSalle. So the project was welcomed at LaSalle as it corresponds to its mission to remain current in its curriculum, teaching, and learning. And we defined the metaverse as a meta-design space or as a network of digital technologies and people providing immersive, interconnected experiences. So there are three the most important characteristics of the metaverse for us. And the first one is multiple technologies. So it provides an immersive experience by integrating a variety of new technologies, including augmented reality, digital twin, as well as blockchain technology. So another important characteristic that this space should have is sociality. So it should be a new type of social form that includes economic, cultural, and legal system, which are closely related to reality, but have their own virtual representation. And finally, hyper-spatial temporality. So it should break the boundaries of time and space and offers users an open, free, and immersive experience where participants reproduce real life without temporal or spatial constraints, even though its own constraints exist in the virtual reality. So in discussing with different schools and programs at the university, a possibility to create our own artistic metaverse space, we were guided by two main observations. So firstly, existing metaverse platforms are generalist virtual spaces, not necessarily built for artistic creation or practices in the way how we see these practices. And of course, they contain their own limitations and biases. And second reason not to use an off-the-shelf metaverse is that their development is driven primarily by powerful profit-oriented technological corporations. And in the context of raising concern about disadvantages of working with corporate giants, there is a need for non-profit alternatives. And addressing these concerns, the project aims to draw on the open source creative art application solutions to design an experimental art creation environment that will ensure a pursuit of academic research, educational, and artistic goals for the benefit for the new generation of artists and arts managers. So creating such a meta design space implies properly addressing questions of overall governance, control, and ownership. And such a metaverse space should acquire the following characteristic. First of all, of course, it's a distributed infrastructure. And it's about using bottom-up approach. The metaverse infrastructure should emerge as the result of negotiations among various involved stakeholders, from technologists to artists and even students in our case, who pursue different but very often complementing goals. So another characteristic in interoperability. So it should interconnect running systems enabled by different art creation applications, artifacts, and allow movements across experience clusters and offer meaningful translations of currencies, artifacts, and ontologies. And finally, scalability. So it should meaningfully integrate important social and economic experiences in one encompassing system, stretching beyond a single art portal community that is very close to itself. So the metaverse space should emulate a new blockchain business paradigm to allow for a scalability and, most important, sustainability of the project in the future. So to implement the project in consultation with our IT partners, we decided to use Morales Metaverse SDK, a skeuomorphic online platform that provides layouts, backgrounds, audio zones, collaboration tools, and options to create, manipulate, and upload digital objects to customize metaverse spaces. And Morales was chosen for its advanced pre-built backend infrastructure with stronger integration capabilities across different platforms and multiple functionalities. So it simplifies Web3 backend development and allows to build server databases to record and monitor users' information, including token balances, transactions, NFT balances, and other things. So you can see on the screen also some other key Morales technical capabilities that can serve well for our goals in Metaverse Portal. So the project is designed as a series of reflexive sessions that are based on agile, incremental, iterative approach, which facilitates knowledge generation process through creative practice, informed by theory, of course, but enhanced through focused collaborative reflections on the process. So the project involves researchers, educators, and students from LaSalle College of the Arts in this series of exploratory creative praxis sessions with local metaverse designers and creatives, as well as crypto artists. And these creative practice sessions are happening on 3 levels of the portal development. First, designing a space for art production. Second, integrating it into the marketplace. And finally, utilizing the social space as an educational playground. Now I will move on to provide more details about each of the components in this framework. So first, metaverse capabilities enable user-centric and collaborative approaches in artistic creation, especially if they attempt to combine different forms, types, mediums, and genres of arts. For instance, various creators in the metaverse can socialize with each other and achieve their common goals in situational contexts. Second, smart computational devices can effectively capture body movements and sensations to create artworks, allowing to reimagine the performing arts that could acquire a new dimension in VR. More importantly, given the suitability of virtual worlds for an in-depth re-examination of the role of artistic output, metaverse as a social space doesn't create a dichotomy between arts presentation and arts experience, usually leading to the separation of the artwork from its experimental functions. So becoming a carrier of experience, art in the metaverse retains a sense, a place visited, experienced, as opposed as just a place seen. In our project, we designed Art Metaverse Portal as a multi-user, immersive, interactive platform to enable personalized digital creations across different forms of arts. So considering that such an enabling artistic environment doesn't currently exist, a customized design of the experimental metaverse portal is really required, and this is what we are actually aiming for, to be the first one to develop one. So, for example, currently existing VR metaverse open sources applications like OpenBrush for 3D arts creation, or Faust, signal processing algorithm to create and tune spaces with adjustable sound sources. They are available as single or multi-user virtual tools. However, they are not necessarily integrated into meaningful social platform for cross-disciplinary communications and interactions, as well as for sharing arts objects. So our project, by contrast, aims to employ open source Moralis platform to bring together different art creation applications to a single space and enhance its capabilities of instantly minting NFT for created objects. In our experimental design practice of creating the Art Metaverse Portal, we are currently exploring the system interoperability potentials for integrative, adaptive, and dynamic design of workstations equipped with different digital tools for arts production in immersive VR environments using open source solutions. So we explore what functionality and tools are required for the portal to accommodate arts production practices across disciplines, forms, and genres. For example, our colleagues from the School of Dance and Music designed a metaverse workstation for music creation in which different speakers in the virtual space have different localization to enable musicians to conduct ear training and perform different system designs in the space for collaborative music production. So taking into account that such a virtual space is currently non-existent, the project explores potentials of establishing and utilizing such music production environments within LASALLE Metaverse Arts Portal. Another example of testing metaverse system interoperability stems from our 2022 hackathon experience, where we experimented in collaboration with dance students by using VR OpenBrush application for 3D visual object creation to reflect dance movements and converge visual arts and performance arts. So the platform that we are designing will allow us to censor and capture movement, to experiment with different forms of embodiment, to explore if or how the metaverse dance practices could shift the focus in cultural perceptions from a commodity-driven to an experience-driven art. So we believe that these creative interdisciplinary convergences are the most exciting possibilities for the future, and our project aims to tame the emerging technologies not just for the sake of just using it, but for reimagining fundamental phenomena and practices in art productions, sharing and experiencing. Second, Metaverse is a marketplace. Metaverse also offers a new virtual marketplace driven by blockchain technology, which facilitates peer-to-peer artistic exchange based on minting and trading non-fungible tokens, or simply NFT. So NFT galleries and auctions not only support digital content creators economically and protect them from digital piracy and forgery, but also enable a broader range of participation. So blockchain constitutes the fundamental infrastructure of the metaverse because it offers a reliable economic system with transparent, open, and efficient rules. NFT guarantees the uniqueness of the digital assets by keeping encrypted transaction history permanently on the blockchain. And of course, we want our students to master that technology so they can protect their creation in the metaverse instantly after they have been created. So we see our Art Metaverse Portal as an enabling digital arts protection system that can empower our faculty and students to connect to NFT platforms for digital art circulation in a wider economic online environment. So through creative practice process of designing NFT galleries and trialing digital marketing and audience development strategies and exploring legal and financial implications on NFT trading systems, our practice sessions on the next stages will allow us to get a sense of overall structure, advantages and disadvantages of the digital arts markets, and explore safe ways of navigating them. So we see this learning journey as a process to develop new art management frameworks for contemporary crypto artists and communities to stay afloat in the emerging virtual economies and protect digital creations. So finally, Metaverse is increasingly being explored by educators and academics who build on affordances of the virtual world technology and leverage different social, cultural, and technological advances of virtual realities to implement educational projects. Of course, the virtual world takes students to an environment outside of their conventional classroom, increasing their learning motivation and deliver knowledge in an interactive, immersive ways, which actually simply amplify imagination and individual as well as collective intelligence. However, in many cases in our observations, employing new technologies for enhancing learning experience in virtual worlds lack pedagogical underpinnings. By contrast, in our project, we aim to employ social constructivist pedagogy to experience the Metaverse Portal as a playground for synchronous dynamic communication in the VR among researchers, educators, artists, students to enable interdisciplinary arts practices, cross-pollinations, and experimental collaborations. So this pedagogy is based on the use of authentic authentic problems, self-organization, monitoring and correction, collective responsibility discourse, and the creation of artifacts to advance the collective knowledge, where individual learning is only a byproduct of the whole process. So the focus of the model is on social or communal, or in the community, communal epistemic process through which individuals contribute to generation of new knowledge by questioning, exploring, experimenting, failing, and working with others through creation of their artifacts. So this model perfectly corresponds to the educational philosophy at LaSalle that traditionally supported industry engagement as a part of its educational curriculum, which is heavily based on project work. So each semester, students from different programs work in groups on various projects, which are in many cases already integrated in professional scenarios and address real-world theoretical or methodological problems. And with the Metaverse Portal project, we aim to meaningfully integrate this testing and explorations of the portal sessions in the learning curriculum of several participating programs across different schools at LaSalle. So during the course of the study, students will be engaged in creative praxis research sessions and masterclasses with crypto artists and metaverse designers to learn how to work with VR tools for artistic creation, how to interact and socialize in the metaverse, and how to mint NFTs. So the first stage of the project is devoted to preparation activities that focus on establishing the metaverse space for the portal and equipping it with the required software tools and functionalities to develop several art creation virtual workstations. So the second stage will focus on facilitating creative praxis research sessions with educators and students to explore how to use and work in the portal. And in the final stage of this pilot project, we aim to launch Art Metaverse Portal and reflect on challenges and opportunities while also thinking what is the next stage of the portal to make it a really sustainable platform for VR artistic collaborative practices. As you can see on the screen, we are on the early stages of the project development, very kind of slowly moving forward with the developments. And because as the scale of the project is so big, and because it involves so many stakeholders and so many programs at LaSalle, it's actually moving not to the speed that I accustomed to when I did other much smaller projects in the past. So in conclusion, I wanted to know that realization of the metaverse can be seen as the latest development in a symbiotic relationship between technology and artistic production, and the project offers a way of both enhancing current experiments and building knowledge of how to apply and engage with this exciting and perhaps to some extent daunting technology in the way we teach and students learn. So thank you for your attention today, and I hope that my presentation was not only useful and interesting, but also inspiring for further developments of metaverse spaces and research on them to benefit artistic community. And I'm happy to discuss the project further with anybody beyond this conference space. And please feel free to connect. If you come by past Singapore, please get connected. I will be very happy to welcome you at LaSalle. Thank you for your attention today.